Hola todos! This is Lacey from Guanajuato, Mexico. It's getting chilly outside. We're coming into our cold season here in Guanajuato. Where we live in our mountain village here in Guanajuato, it gets below freezing at night and chilly in the mornings, and then it'll heat up around noon, 1 o'clock, and get really warm, and then it'll go back down, it'll dip back down and get really cold, freezing in the middle of the night, and we'll keep cycling and doing that type of weather here starting in just the next few weeks until about January. And then February it starts to heat up and it turns into our hot season here in Guanajuato. So I wanted to give an update on how the pumpkin patch is doing. Join me. Alright, so here we are. This is our field. Beautiful, isn't it? Many of you know that have been following us for a long time. Usually this is just dry sand. But now we have lots of wildflowers, weeds, and some sunflowers. So let's check out the pumpkin patch. Here's our watering can. All right. So we're out here at the pumpkin patch. Not many pumpkins. Unfortunately, I was hoping to report something positive and report a success that we were having over here in our mountain village of Guanajuato, but no success this time. We do have a few pumpkin patch. A blooper. We do have a few pumpkin plants growing, so I'll show you. Come this way. Lots of weeds, lots of grasshoppers. I mean, it's just beautiful either way. When you have brown everywhere for, a good 7 months out of the year with no weeds or anything, seeing all of these green, even though they're weeds, still feels great. The kids and I love walking through. All right, we are at one of them that we have managed to keep alive. Here he is. And I'll talk about some of the problems that we've been having. But he's got quite a few blooms. He even has a pumpkin here, right here. And I haven't been out here in a couple of days, so let's see what else. If we have anything else on this side. Some more blooms. And yeah, but I'll show you one of our biggest culprits that we've been having trouble with right here. You see all of the squash bugs? Lots and lots of squash bugs, little buggers. They have been eating all of our pumpkin plants that have been successful. So we've been putting down some of that dicanthus earth powder and trying to prevent them from going on our pumpkins. But we haven't been very lucky. So the other biggest issue that we've had here is watering, of course, being in a high desert. So this year, our rain season, it typically starts in May, sometimes in June. We didn't end up getting our rain season until the beginning of August. So that put a lot of pressure on us here. Just moving into our home right over there that we just built last year and moving in, unpacking, finishing some of the things inside the home to make it more comfortable for us to live, like our bathroom and our kitchen, and then raising a large family and starting our homeschooling year. We packed so much onto our shoulders over the summer that even with our watering chore, watering 2 hours every day, it just wasn't enough because we weren't getting any rain, any precipitation at all whatsoever. And the sun gets so hot here because we're so close to the equator. It's really strong sun here. So the temperatures might not always be up there, but the heat from the sun, you can really feel it, and it really affects the plants. So we're learning so much about gardening here in Guanajuato. We're gonna do a lot better in our next season. I'm so excited, I can't wait. to try again. We really are. You know, there was a few tears that were shed because the children, and I especially, were looking forward to carving pumpkins and having our own pumpkin patch, to reminisce some of those traditions that we had while we lived in Minnesota. But we learned so much. We really did. Some improvements that we're going to be making on our next season of planting pumpkins here. We are definitely going to have a better watering system because we just can't rely on the rain season here. Like I said, sometimes it comes and sometimes it doesn't. So we definitely need a better setup for watering. I don't know if some of you recall, we planted, I think it was 420 pumpkin seeds, all different kinds. We had some gourds, we had some white pumpkins, some jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, and then we had some small sugar baby pumpkins for pies. And right now we're sitting at 5 plants that survived. So sad. Really a bummer. But like I said, next season we are going to have some hoses. We're going to also install, if you see that Tanako on top of the house, that's where our water sits. We are going to install a foundation out here and then put a Tanako on top so that we can have easier access to the field, because that was another thing. We had our pickup, not that vehicle, but our other one, carrying the water in and running one long hose through, and it just really wasn't efficient. It wasn't good enough. We're going to also be deterring the weeds a lot more with cornstalk husks. We had laid out some on this side of the pumpkin patch and it helped a little bit, but I don't think we laid down enough. Also, we're going to be doing a lot more weeding. I got really excited and we were watering all the time. This whole field was just dry dirt. And we were watering and all of the weeds started popping up and flowers, and it was really hard to pull them, I'll be honest. It really was. So we didn't do a very good job at weeding or deterring the weeds from growing either. So those are the 3 biggest mistakes or lessons that we've learned from starting our pumpkin patch here in our high desert in Guanajuato, Mexico. Thank you all for joining us on this journey. I was really hoping to report a whole field full of pumpkins. We were hoping to invite neighbors out and the children to come pick, but just not this year. Definitely, we will try again next year. And if any of the other homesteaders that I know here on YouTube would like to share any information that could help us out, either with the pumpkins or gardening in deserts, we would really appreciate it. We are open and willing to learn. And I also have noticed that we have a lot more subscribers. I just wanted to say hello and thank you for joining us on our journey here. We've been in Guanajuato 2 years and we're not going anywhere. We'll be here for a very long time. So we have lots to share. Our successes and our failures. Well, I'm gonna head back in the house. We have some of the neighbor kids over to play, so I'm gonna head back in and see how everybody's doing. And I think that's it for this video. If you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. It helps the algorithm. And if you're not already a subscriber, subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one. Adios.